Hey guys, this is Jeremiah here. Thanks for checking out this video. This is the second part of the Bonfire Pre-roll that I'm doing for my YouTube channel. This is just kind of the progress and walkthrough of what I'm doing. What we're looking at here is a little 3-second test clip of a couple logs on fire. The particle dispersion isn't great on these. It's not very dense at all, but that's probably going to fix that later once I get a little bit farther along. But I just wanted to go ahead and show this because I'm going to talk through the particle flow, the PFlow system in 3ds Max that I used to set this up, and show you where you can find the tutorial, and also discuss just kind of the path that I decided to take to try and get these logs to look halfway decent. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. Stop this, and I'll open up my 3D Studio Max file. First, I guess, let me show you where I found the tutorial. You guys might be familiar with a guy named Alan McKay. He's a pretty big guy for particle effects in Hollywood. You can go to alanmckay.com, and I'll give the link to his to the tutorial in the notes in the channel. But if you go to free stuff here, alanmckay.com, go to free stuff. It's on the second page, legacy effects tutorials, and that'll take you into an entry with a bunch of PFlow tutorials, fume effects. He's got a lot of stuff in here. If you scroll down past the fume effects and afterburn stuff, you get back past the max scripting. You can come down, and the tutorial is called Creating Particle Based Flames. And he's got a download link. You can kind of see it here. So I'm going to have you, I'll link to this page, and you'll have to scroll down and download it. That way he can get the traffic. I don't want to link directly to the download link because I don't know how that'll affect him. But the setup here is essentially you have your birth node, and the way that this works is it spawns. Let me see if I can kind of. It spawns the particle output. The flame spawns off of these particle locations. So you have two birth events, and what you have is one birth event, and this positions particles around the object. So you can see I have my position object here, and it's linked to these pieces of firewood, and then it spawns these particles. And then these particles are locked in a particular place, and then these particles drive the second birth event. So I'm going to go ahead and click this on. It might take a second to okay, let me bump this up into the middle of the animation. While I'm talking, it'll rebuild all that. So these particles then drive the location of the flame. So you can see there the flames, the tendril flames being emitted from the location of the particles. So ultimately, probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back in, and I'm going to get rid of this this object position for the first set of particle spawns, and I'll probably use a map for this later on. But right now, that's what I've got. That's the system. And then I'll pull up the RAM player one more time so you can see that's why some of these are so isolated. There's not very much density, and that's because they're spawning. There's like there will be a random particle right here that's spawning this. So actually, let's pop into the camera here, and you can actually see where some of these guys are spawning from. So let's take this down a little bit, so you can kind of see, like right in here, where these guys are and how they match up with these. So I just need to map these spawn points a little bit better and get a little bit better density in there. but I'm pretty happy with it. I tried out some of the Autodesk presets. I tried out like a match preset and a few other ones. I wasn't real happy with it, but I think this is okay. I might mess around with Maya or Phoenix or I guess Afterburn or something else. See if I can get some trial versions and maybe test those out. But I'm pretty happy with this. I think it's okay. Then we'll add, this is just fire, so I'll add smoke and stuff later on. Where I'm at with the logs. Let me pull this up. I decided to go ahead and try and sculpt these in ZBrush, which probably is not. I could probably use a texture or use a texture to sculpt these as a stencil, or just use the drag rectangle, but I wasn't really happy with what it was doing. I even tried to go in, let me pull up this other model. I even tried to go in and paint a hand-painted texture. Oops, sorry about that alert there. Tried to come in and paint kind of a hand-painted texture. I started blocking it out and applied it to one of the logs, but still looks real flat, and maybe this is all going to get hidden by the fire, by the flames ultimately. I don't know, but I've been wanting to learn ZBrush, and these are pretty simple models. It's not a whole lot, so it kind of gives me an excuse to come in and do some stuff and work through the pipeline before I start using ZBrush on some buildings and things like that. So that's kind of where I'm at. Still picking away at it, and hopefully, one other thing that I wanted to talk about. My goal is to get this done by the end of June. So what I did, even though this is probably overkill, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Buckshot. I'll add a link to Buckshot in the show notes as well, or in the show notes in the YouTube in the YouTube notes as well. But what I've done is I've just come in, and Buckshot is a project management software, and I have a project. I've had it set up for quite a while for my short film. And so you can come in and add all kinds of stuff, and you can this is actually designed for a very large team, but I've kind of been using it just to help keep me on track and moving ahead on my own project. But so what I've done is I've come in and I've set up a schedule. So you can come in, you can set up a page for deliverables and all kinds of stuff. What I've done is I've come in and just set up should be under tasks. Yeah, here we go. Bonfire milestones. I just came in, and this is maybe not necessary, but I wanted to do this so that I could at least kind of track it myself and help keep myself on track. So I just made a little schedule here in Buckshot, help keep me on track over the next month. So hopefully the goal is by the 28th, I'll have this whole thing completed. You can see all the different parts. I'm hoping to finish up the log sculpts this week. I got to do some text design. I'll finish up the particle effects, of course, and add some smoke. I'll build a little environment around it, and then render, post, and upload the pre-roll. So that's where I'm at. Hopefully we'll be able to do that because I'm going out of town after the 28th for a week, so I'm trying to get it wrapped up by then. So anyways, that's all I've got. That's my little update. I'll be trying to update every Friday for the next month, at least where I'm at on these milestones. So thanks for watching. Have a good one.